All right, guys, if anyone actually has joined so far, we are starting to get things rolling. Waiting on Instagram once again. And Instagram is set. All right. Welcome to the Chit Chat today, folks. We are finishing up our adulting series with relationships in honor of Valentine's Day this weekend. So, would you two like to introduce yourselves? Wait, as our guest speakers, let me fix something really quick. There we go.
Thank you.
Yes. I didn't realize I had to fix.
Go ahead.
I am Ann True, wife of.
Mike True. We are members at Mumsy and former lifeguards with the youth group. So we know this Maddie pretty well.
Yes, yes. And as a former lifeguard, they are obviously invited as guest stars, like speakers. Like it's just synonymous at this point. Anyway, sorry, I also have an allergy, so I don't know how it's been back in Indiana, but it's still been like consistently like 30 degrees here.
Yeah. Lots
Yeah.
of sickness
Yeah, we
going
still
around.
yeah, we still have snow from the snowstorm.
Yeah, we have a little, but not much.
Yeah, it like still hasn't like gone away. My friend from Texas was like, "Why can't they just get like a flamethrower and just like melt the snow?" I'm like, I don't think it's gonna work well. I don't think you're gonna do that.
That causes other problems.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, you see how many trees are here? Like, you know, it's just gonna go. Or my friend from Maryland, she was like, I'm not dealing with the snow. I'm like, guys, like, you can't just flamethrower the snow. Like,
that's right.
It's all right. Don't worry, folks. We will not be talking about snow today. We're gonna get started, and I'm your host, Maddie, as normal. What does a godly relationship look like to you?
Well, I mean, I think Anne wrote it's just about kind of not only following God and following His word and putting that ahead of everything, but it's in your relationship. It's how are you putting God in that relationship, and um, are you shining God's love in that relationship, whether it's a friend, whether it's a spouse, husband, wife situation like us? Um, do people know that, can they just understand by knowing you that, these people are different, and you can tell maybe that they're Christian, or you can tell that there's something a little different about them. So yeah, that's kind of how I look at it.
I think too, when you're in a godly relationship, you become or try to become selfless.
Yeah.
So you're not necessarily putting that person's needs in front of yours, but just you're thinking for two at that point where you're married. As long as Mike and I are, we can usually kind of, well, I probably better not say that, or probably not better not do that. I better phrase it this way, or because you just kind of have to learn to think about that person sometimes even before you're thinking about yourself. So
Good point.
It is. I guess it's for me, as like I said, like, are you encouraging each other spiritually? Like, are you bringing out the best in each other and encouraging
Right.
spiritual growth and stuff? And that's what you like should look for, like when you want a godly relationship with someone else.
absolutely.
Or
Good point.
sometimes you can still have people who can still like bring out your good side, even if Christianity isn't something you share. Like me, I have a lot of friends like that. All my friends,
Right.
even though we're all very religiously different,
Mm-hmm.
we all have the same values, and we still bring out that side of us. So I think you can still manage to have a godly relationship without. But like if you want a true godly relationship, you have to have God at the center of it.
Yes, I agree 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think another thing too is like when you're in a godly relationship and maybe like one of you kind of hits a slump, like say maybe with devotions or prayer time or whatever, like it's good to kind of encourage that other person if you see them doing it, that sort of thing. It kind of helps, just gives you some accountability too when we kind of hit those slumps.
And we're pretty good about, we don't even have to say anything. It's just more by our actions. Going back to that about a slump, if I'm going through a time where I'm not as much in prayer and I see Ann doing things that I know I should be doing with that and devotions and prayers, then it kind of motivates me with her not even having to say anything. So it's kind of cool.
Mhm.
That comes with time,
Like
though.
that level of accountability. Yeah, like it's
Right.
just
Mhm.
having accountability partners. You
Yes.
don't know.
Right.
Yes,
She's the
that's
ultimate
something.
accountability partner for me.
Yes, yeah. Finding that person who helps keep you accountable in your walk of
Yeah.
life. And I sometimes I think like if you've been together for so long, the Holy Spirit is just going to tattle on each other too, right? Like
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
so
you just have that
true.
that's a good
connection.
point.
Yep, that's
Yes.
true.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, I'm like not sure what's going on in the live stream. Like it's like frozen. Okay, now we're good. Okay. Sorry, my like the Instagram was frozen for a sec. So we're gonna go to the flip side of that now. And total opposite. What does an ungodly relationship look like to you?
I think, well, whereas a godly relationship is selfless, I think an ungodly one is selfish.
Yeah.
You're just thinking all about you rather than whether you're, not thinking about that other person, not thinking about God. Um, I think we've talked about this before. I think it's hard when maybe one of you is godly and the other's not. But that would just be, I don't know how you find that life balance. Um, so I think it's a completely different looking relationship.
No, I mean that's exactly right. I mean it's the opposite of selfless, and yeah, just like to your point, it's selfish. It's putting your needs in front of anything else, and
Mhm.
it's you know what do I want to do, or how can this person um, cater to my needs, and it's yeah, it's the exact opposite. I mean, it's and I think none of us are perfect about it. I mean, there's always times where not always, but there's times in our relationship where we've like, oh man, I made a mistake there, and I sure didn't do a very good job of thinking of Anne's needs in this situation, or that wasn't very godly of me to be like that and to say these things, and um, so yeah, a lot of times what we'll do is if we want to say something that's not nice, we'll say it to the other person as kind of a bounce off, and they're like, no, don't say that. So like I want to say this, and I'll say no, don't, or vice versa. She'll want to say something and I'll go, no, you probably shouldn't say that. You can vent to
You
me.
see the look. There's
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
look. You like
exactly.
yeah.
right. Yeah, you can vent to me,
um
but that's probably not something you want to say.
yeah. I think it's just like honestly, it's like is this person bringing out the best in you? Or they
Yes,
Yeah,
encourage
that
you
is,
to sin, or they encourage you to come closer to God. So like just watching out
yeah,
that balance
yeah.
absolutely.
of and so but also you gotta think about like I think as like especially y'all young Christians, like people especially people who are new to faith, is like they have old friends. Are they
Mhm,
truly like your friends if you decide to become a Christian, like pursue that life, will they still be by your side?
mhm.
Hmm.
Or because you are doing those things if you need more, are they just gonna drop you?
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yep.
Yeah. So like you always gotta think like you who the people who you surround yourself with is a reflection of you
Yes.
too.
Yeah,
Like don't be wrong, I'm not saying don't go out and make friends with new people. I think you absolutely
sure.
should make friends with all kinds of people,
Mhm.
but you need to make sure you have friends or Christ-centered friends around you to help keep you up and keep you accountable and be
Yes.
there for you spiritually. Because there's just things that your friends don't get
Yeah.
Mhm.
because they have gone for the spirit, like when dealing with spiritual warfare and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, that
But
kinda leads into your
it's kind of
next
like,
question
yeah,
too. How does being in an
yes,
ungodly relationship affect your relationship with God? It's so easy to get pulled away
Mhm.
from God if you're not with people who kind of share your spirituality.
right,
And I
yeah.
think it,
It's like that was like unplanned transition. That was a great transition. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
I know I was just gonna say, I mean, um, it's okay to be around, like you said, to be around people that maybe don't believe in the same God or don't have that
Mhm.
faith life, but if they're people that are dragging you down because of that, I mean, there's a difference between I've had plenty of friends throughout my life that maybe don't follow God, but they're pleasant, nice people, and they have all the tenets of someone that I would consider to be a godly type of person. But then I've also known people that are always negative and always just kind of mean spirited, don't follow God. And those are the people that you got to be careful. I mean, we're called to love others, but it doesn't mean we need to be their best friends, right? And so that's something to kind of
Right.
watch out for, um, with that.
Mhm.
So anyway, that's all I wanted to say on that.
No, I think that's actually best way to put it because like it's like not you don't realize like how much the people around you influence you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like it because like say for example, my friends and I have this tendency to randomly speak a Southern accent with each other. We're not sure how it started. We're not sure
It
why,
sounds
but people
great.
think I'm Southern now. When people meet me, they think I'm Southern actually because they're like you have like they're like you're kind of, like are you Southern because like you have a little bit of a Southern accent, like a little country accent. I mean, I have a little bit of country. I mean, I'm from the country, but you're also like northeastern. Like what's going on here? And I'm like I'm from the Midwest. Like blend of all of them.
Mhm.
but
Absolutely.
but the thing is, like people, we at first we didn't notice it. Actually, it was other people we were friends with outside. Like we have also like good friends outside of your main group. Who are like, you guys are so like you guys are the cutest thing. Like you guys just like randomly break out Southern accent and start speaking all of the Southern accent with each other. Like I have a friend from Texas, but he doesn't have that bad of a Southern accent. It's unless he's playing like video games. When he gets like really into a video game, he starts speaking pure Texan. But normally he has no
Jeez.
accent. But like rest of my friends are from Maryland, so they don't have that like a Southern accent and stuff like
Right.
that. So but that's the whole concept. Like, if you're with people, you're gonna rub off on them, and they're gonna rub off on
Mhm.
you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Whether that be whether that be sin or a southern accent. Like we're experiencing southern accents today. Um, and just like looking like talking about relationships. So this is not in the questions. I came up with this after I created the questions,
Awesome.
but when you're looking for new relationships, whether that be romantic, friendship, what qualities should you look for the other person to
Mm.
have a godly relationship or at least a good relationship in general?
Um, I mean, I kind of just look for someone that I can get along with. I mean, and I can only talk to going back to when Ann and I started dating back before the wheel was invented. um, no, but I always thought this was a deal breaker. And when I was growing up, it was like, I don't, whoever I end up with doesn't need to be a clone, obviously, or have the exact, but they need to believe in God. And I want them to have some type of a faith life. And that was a deal breaker for me. And that might not be that way for everybody, but that was always a deal breaker for me. And obviously, I'm very blessed and felt, God put Ann in my life for that reason. And, um, but for me, I look for people that maybe share um, when it comes to my marriage, I looked at that. But as far as just friends and relationships, just people that I can get along with and have common interest and are nice and good, decent people. Um, it's awesome if they share the same faith, and I hope they do. But if they don't, I'm still going to talk about my faith, and if it encourages them, great. If it doesn't, that's fine too. But at least they know where I stand. So that's kind of how I look at things. Yeah.
I would say ditto to all of that. I think that's important. Like Mike said, you're not going to find a perfect clone of yourself, but
Yeah.
that would make life boring anyway. So I I think a mistake that sometimes people make though is as you like if you are dating someone, um, maybe you kind of think, oh, maybe they're not that into God right now, but that'll come with time, and you just can't assume that that's going to come with time because the next thing you know, 2 or 3 years have gone by and you're in a relationship with this person, and you're still waiting on them to catch up to where
Right.
you are, and it's not been an important part of their life. So I think it's really important as you youngins,
Mhm.
um, as you are meeting people, dating people, that sort of thing. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. You're still going to share your faith with them. And I think that's really important. That's what God calls us to do. But at some point in time, you have to make that decision. Is this a deal breaker for me or is it not? Because some people it may not be, and that's okay. But like Mike said, that was a definite deal breaker for each of us.
Mhm.
And I think that's really important.
Right. I also think like it's an unfair expectation on somebody to automatically join your faith. Like, if it
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
To automatically catch up, there's like because we all have our own faith journeys. Not saying like I mean, there's obviously couples who have succeeded who came from different faith backgrounds. Like that's
Sure.
evident, but most of the time, that's really really hard.
Yeah, it
Yes.
is.
Let's be honest. Like
Yeah.
very hard, very difficult. Even like
Mhm.
different like faith denominations can have like Christianity has it because they have different values. So
Sure.
it's like really like it's like you have to look when you're looking for anybody like you got to see what values does this person have. Like, what do their actions say about them?
Yeah.
Are their actions more selfless, like you said? Are they caring? Do
Mhm.
they actually want to spend time with you and like get to know you and stuff like that and help you out when you need it? You can depend on them, or are they selfish and only are using you for their own gain? Like,
Mhm.
they only want to be around you when it's on their terms or they're
Yes.
getting something out of it. So
Yep.
I think that's what I kind of like look for in a really like whether it be friendship or stuff like that. Because like I said,
Mhm.
I have a lot of friends who are different faith, and honestly, like having
Sure.
friends of different faith, we have so many like open like interfaith discussions, just having
Mhm.
honest conversations about each other's faith. And, like I've learned so much about other cultures, like kind of stuff like that,
Yeah.
but also a lot about my own faith, like
Awesome.
thinking like making me think different ways. So definitely recommend doing that, but always just keep an eye on like is this person really good for you spiritually?
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
That's a
so
great thing
yeah,
about college
and
too, Maddie, is that you
yeah,
get to meet people of different backgrounds and faiths.
Mhm.
And, you grew up in a small town like where we are and didn't have a lot of
yeah.
that, right? I mean, you might have met a few people here and there, but now that's great. I mean, that's how you learn. It's awesome.
Yeah, like some of my friends like agree that like we don't know how we click together, but we do.
That's great.
It's the
Those are the
weirdest
best
thing.
friendships.
Yeah.
It is like yes, we're like very like you like all of us are from different like backgrounds and stuff, so it's like all very like we're not sure how we came together. Like me and my roommate, everyone is always asking us like, how did you two end up like as roommates? Like how did you two like we're very similar, like we work very well together. So everyone's like, so were you random? Because a lot of people are random.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, like, or do you like, but we're like, oh no, we actually met online and like we're
Yeah.
talked for a couple days and then
Nice.
became roommates. And
Nice.
it worked out perfectly in our favor, actually. But like some people, like it's gone horribly wrong. Like one of my
Right.
friends, we were
Mhm.
just talking about it.
Sure.
Like him and his roommate, they do not get along at all, and they met online, so
Mm.
it's rough. But um, anyway, I think it's time we go on to our next question.
Okay.
Continuing on with our topic of like balancing with like relationships and stuff, how do we maintain a healthy relationship while always putting God first?
Um, you know how sometimes people choose like a word of the year or whatever that's going to be their year or their word. Every year I come back to the word intentional.
Mm.
Um, whether it be, teaching or being a mom, being a wife, church, whatever, my family. And I think that's a huge part of it. We all go so many different directions in a day. Mike is really good about like when I get home from work, like I'm kind of the type where I've already lived my day. I don't want to talk about it again. Like I'm done. I survived 24 10-year olds and I'm good. Whereas he's worked from home all day and, kind of needs that conversation, but he's really good about making me stop and like, just like, hey, let's connect. You know what I mean? Like, let's, before we get going with laundry and everything else we're doing here, like just be intentional about those connections. Um, so that's something that I struggle with, but luckily I have a partner who can kind of help lead me back that direction when I stray.
Very
Is
nice.
how I would answer that question.
It's
Wow.
very that's a great answer.
Yeah. Um, no, that's great. And I think on the flip side of that, I mean, how you help me with that balance is I tend to overcommit to things and run in too many directions after work. And you've been really good about saying, "Do you really need to do that?" And in a subtle, not so subtle way.
I'm not very subtle. Maddie knows that.
um, but I
I'm well
appreciate
aware.
but I do appreciate it though. I mean, because I do. I have a hard time saying no to anything. Like, hey, can you do this? Oh, sure. It's like, no, wait a minute. And so Anne's been really good at helping me to kind of step back and not overcommit and to keep my sanity in check, because I have a tendency to do that. And then all of a sudden I have a meltdown several weeks later after I've done too much.
Mm.
So, um,
The funny thing about that is, though, like, I've been in his position.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, we laugh about this all the time because we are slowly, completely
swapping.
changing roles in everything in our lives. Like,
Yeah,
it's the weirdest thing, but that was me. Like, when our kids were young, probably, like, that was
yeah,
me, and I had to he worked on me then, like, "Hey, we kids need to be first. We can't have all this everything going on." So now it's just funny how it's come back around, and this time it's me. Like, I'm fully embracing our empty nest. I have no problem if we eat dinner and plop down in the rocking chairs, and I'm usually grading papers or we'll have something on TV. Like, I'm good with that. So it's funny how we've just completely switched, but the timing has been perfect. Like, I needed to hear that when the kids were younger, and he needs to hear that now. So it's just funny how that God
right.
works that out.
It's like growing together.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Sometimes you sometimes you decide to grow in a different direction, but at least you're still growing together. Like that's perfect. I actually forgot what the question was actually. Okay. I
How do we
also
put
think
God
it's just like
first?
setting
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Mm.
I just like it's always like going to more romantic side because obviously Valentine's Day is coming up. Like the slightly romantic theme to this, right? Just like while you're in a relationship, like it's why it's so important to have someone the same faith. Not only like the unfair expectation and stuff like that, and like conflicts that could arise, but also just a thing of like if your partner doesn't understand why you're always putting God first, why you're always doing this for the church, or always doing this or that, or doesn't see a reason of it, like then how do they like how can they understand your world, like your viewpoint? Also, you guys have the same perspective on everything. But for me,
Mhm.
like I see things in the lens of my faith, but I don't have someone who can't understand that. Like then how is that going to work? So I think that's like talking about that is like if you're having a healthy relationship, then you guys at least understand where you guys are coming from a lot of times.
Mhm.
And if you understand that you're gonna put God first, then that's gonna put a lot of strain. So
And I think relationships are hard enough
Yeah,
anyway that when you have that extra strain on there, it just makes it even more difficult.
yeah, that's a great
yes,
point.
100%.
Kind of going back to the question about the likes and interests and having sort of those deal breakers, and you know that's very important to have that on certain things, with especially with marriages and uh, really tight knit close friendships, obviously. So yeah, it's not easy. Takes work.
Mhm.
Everything good in this world needs work. It takes work.
Yeah,
So
for
Yes.
sure.
Anything good. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
all right. So our verse today is gonna be Mark 10:9, which is therefore what God has joined together, let no one separate. What does this verse mean to you guys?
Hmm.
I think to me that part what God has joined together. Um, my dad loves to tell the story of how Mike and I met. I'm like you, Maddie. I'm a small town girl, and I moved to a city of 4 million people and meet this guy. And my dad is kind of early stages of dementia, but when he meets new people, he's always telling them the story of Mike and I. And just if those two can meet in a city of 4 million people, you know what I mean? And it's so to me,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that what God has joined together part just has become a part of my testimony. I think if I'm ever like, okay, God, when is this going to happen? Whatever we're praying for, working for, whatever, like God brought us together. So
yeah,
I know his timing is perfect and flawless. So um, I don't know where I was going with that, but I guess that's just the part that really speaks to me. Like, I think sometimes, and I know I was guilty of this when I was younger. I tried to force the relationship. The guy I dated before Mike, I was just sure he was the one, and he had no good redeeming qualities about him. But because I was like 26, 27, I'm like, well, I guess he'll do. And thank goodness he didn't. And unanswered prayers, the whole thing. But it's a God thing, and I see too many younger kids trying to just force it. And I didn't get married till I was 29, but I would not trade this guy for the world. So I think just remembering that God has that plan and he's the one doing the joining. So that's the part of that verse that kind of speaks to me.
Madam, what can I add to that, Anne? No,
I know
no,
she like completely answered that.
I mean, no, but it's true though. But you think about it. I mean, just therefore, what God, if you just break it down, what God has joined together, let no one separate. I mean, if God truly has joined two people together through His timing, the way we met, and all of that, it's going to be really hard to ever separate it. As
Mhm,
long as you can keep that faith in the center of it,
mhm.
um, and really keep it in the center. Not that it doesn't mean you're not going to have struggles. It's not
Right.
we don't agree on every single little thing. We have our little silly things that we argue about,
No, dear,
right?
nothing that we
but
argue about.
but we realize that what God put, God joined us together. Like, I mean, I think about all the little things that had to be perfect for us to meet. Like, you know, everything about how we met. Like, I didn't, when we met at a country and western saloon of all places, right? I'll say it. I don't care.
I
But
I have not heard this story.
yeah, so
Yeah.
we met there, and my friend that night was like, "Hey, you're going out, and we're going to go to this place." And I'm like, "I'm tired. I've been working all day. I don't want to go, and I'm not going." And he's like, "No, you're going to go. Come on over, and I'll drive." So that's how I ended up even there. So if I said no, my life would be different. So it's got to be a God thing. So I just kind of think like if God did all that to get us together, it's got to work out. And
And I think that's also become part of both of our testimonies too.
yeah,
Like, I don't know if Maggie's on tonight or not.
I don't know.
Um, but she's at that point where, this is her last semester of her senior year, and job hunting for English majors is not the easiest thing
No,
in the world. And
No.
so I'm constantly telling her, look at how your dad and I got together. Like, remember, God is at the center of this.
yeah,
He's got a plan. It may not be on your time frame, but he's going to work it out. And I just feel like that's kind of become part of our testimony too,
yeah.
because I'm the world's most impatient person, but God's
I'm a
God's got
close
it.
second.
You are, well, actually, you're probably first. I'm probably a close second, but God has it all under control. So we just need to be intentional about remembering that.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing. So we are close to the end. So for anyone out there, if you have any prayer concerns or last minute questions, please put them in the chat. We love to answer or pray with you today. So we're gonna kind of
Nash
skip
says
ahead to
hi
the
to
last
you, by the
question.
way.
Who is it, Nash?
Nash says hi
Aw,
to you, Maddie, on
hi
Facebook.
Nash. I
So
miss you, Nash. Next time I'm at
yeah.
church, I'll make sure to give you a big hug.
Sorry,
Um,
I didn't want to. I
even
wanted to
though,
make sure I got that in.
no, you're good. Yes, hi Nash. Even though he actually doesn't like me anymore. So I feel like
Yeah,
we
obviously.
really answered, yeah, a lot of these questions, like what like challenges Christians face. Like a lot of times we try to force. I feel like we like try to force things.
Mhm,
Something my friend recently said he had his pastor say one day at church was, when you date, you're not dating as a missionary. You need to date someone who could like be spiritually the same as you, like have like the faith together. Like you're not going out and dating and be a missionary trying to convert people for dating. So those are a
mhm.
really good
Hmm.
way to say it. I forgot exactly how he phrased it. But I think lastly is just how can we show God's love in our relationships this week? Because he is, the perfect love.
For sure. I don't know about anybody else, but I need to slow down right now. Like, I'm pretty involved with work and some things that are challenging right now. So just slow down and be still for a while.
Yeah, no, that's good. Um, I just think it's the little things. It's the little things you can do for each other, and um, you know wherever you are, and just taking that extra second to be kind to someone or being kind to each other in our relationship, and just sort of being intentional. You wrote that on there, and that's very
Mhm.
true. Just being intentional about um, making sure that we stay connected. So yeah. because it's easy. I mean, our phones can be our worst enemies, and we're looking at our phones because we're tired. It's like, no, don't do that, So little things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think once I get done with midterms and I get sleep,
Mhm.
um, I'm thinking everything is like past midterms. So, definitely just try to be intentional. Like this weekend, I'm going to hang out with my friends. Obviously, it's for Valentine's Day. We have some stuff planned and stuff. And just try to be intentional with my friends while we have time together. Because I know all of us are very like I'm not saying like we're anxious people, but we're very much involved, like with our grades and like
Mhm.
Hmm.
extracurriculars like that. Like, and that's something like a lot of times we like stress and worry about. So like this weekend, just try to be very intentional with each other to
Yeah.
gain a little bit of peace in, before the next round of
Yes.
Yeah.
midterms.
Have a little break in
Yeah,
between.
Carissa
yeah.
also wants
So
you to
like,
know, Nash wants you to know that his dog turns 6 tomorrow.
aw, happy
He wants
birthday,
you to meet the
Nash's
new
dog.
dog. He turns 6. He says he's very talkative.
Hi, Nash. Aw, tell your dog happy birthday for me, Nash.
Cute.
All right. So I think that's it for tonight. So, do we have any prayer concerns? I mean, besides Nash's dog having a good birthday.
um, Trying to think of church wise. We haven't gotten any emails or anything for a while.
I have a friend who is having a tough time. He just lost his wife, and it was very sudden, and so that's been on my heart a lot over the last couple of weeks. So definitely want to pray for that in that space.
Yeah, I got one. So, my great uncle passed away last week and stuff. So, just prayers for the family, because I mean, his like funeral was today and everything. And also he was an organ donor, so they were able to match most of his organs. They were able to be donated. So, just prayers for the people who did receive that.
I do have another one I thought of. I don't know if any of you know his first name's Case. What's Case's last name? Williams from Tri County. His mom is Julie.
Julie, yeah.
Julie just had a kidney transplant last night at Mayo Clinic and just needs prayer. So far, everything's going great, but just needs prayers that
Yeah.
continues happening. And
Yeah.
also, my older brother's mother-in-law is in her last days. So their goal is to keep her comfortable. So just kind of pray. My sister-in-law is an only child and doesn't have a big family anyway, so just keep her in your prayers too.
All right. Would one of you two like to pray us out tonight?
Go for it, babe.
Okay. Yeah. Dear God, we just thank you so much for this evening, and we thank you so much for this conversation about relationships. And although they definitely can have their challenges, they can be very rewarding. And keeping you in the center of it, God, is just so very important. We just thank you, God, for Maddie and her ministry, and in the midst of her extremely busy, crazy semester, going to a great school and learning all kinds of awesome things and meeting people. She's taking the time to do this every week, and what a blessing she is. I thank you for the relationships in my life and our lives. Thank you for my wife. And we just have these prayer concerns of Maddie with her friend that's an organ donor, um, and with the concerns with Janet and Julie Williams. And we just pray for my friend whose wife just passed away, and that you're there in that as well, God. And we just pray for just everyone that has a good faith, and remembers about relationships that uh, you know don't settle. And we just ask you, God, to be there for us as we're meeting new people, as we're cultivating the relationships that we've had our whole life. And we just ask all these things in your son's name. Amen.
And
Amen.
And
All
by the
right.
way,
Thank you,
Nash is
everyone, for.
turning 6 tomorrow, not
oh,
his
not the
dog.
dog.
Oh,
So Nash is turning
happy
6.
birthday, Nash.
Sorry about that,
I was
Carissa.
gonna say,
I botched that up.
Happy birthday, Nash. Hope you have an amazing 6th birthday. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining us this week. This is the end of the adulting series. So next week we'll be starting our Lent series, and we'll be doing things a little differently, actually. We will be following along with, so I believe the church, I'm not sure how the church is doing this, but we're going along with a book I have it right here called Jesus the Stranger, which is a daily Advent read. So next week we'll just be talking about what is Lent and what it means. And after that, for the rest of Lent, we will be discussing themes found within the book. So
Great.
stay
Thanks for
tuned. We're
having
going to
us.
see how this goes. Yes, thank you for having us. So you guys were amazing tonight. Anyway, goodbye everybody. See you guys next week. We'll be at
Bye.
Chit
Good
Chat
luck with
live
the
at
rest of
7
your
p.m.
week.
as normal. Thank you. We'll see how midterms, how I feel next Thursday after midterms.
Yeah,
You got this, Maddie.
you got it.
Ooh, 2 more to go.
Yep,
All
we're
right.
praying for
Bye,
you.
guys.
See ya.
Bye.